What's good, guys? It's Ilson 4K, and today we're moving onward with Halloween 3 Into the Unknown with another unknown gem that you definitely need to check out if you haven't seen it already. And for those of you asking, what the hell is Halloween? Halloween is a month-long celebration of horror movies that take place on or around Halloween that we do here on my channel for the third year in a row now. And this year we're doing something a little different. Instead of watching all the movies everybody seems to know about from that type of era, such as your Halloweens, Terrifiers, or Trick-or-Treats, we're actually going to watch more of the unknown gems that no one seems to know about. And I definitely have one right here. From 2015, a movie called Hellions. A movie about something that I want you to think about right now before we go onward. Do you remember this? Trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat? Well, that's actually the basis of this film, because this film is actually about evil, possessed trick-or-treaters terrorizing this one girl who finds out she's pregnant, basically on Halloween night. And that's absolutely terrifying, because these trick-or-treaters look absolutely mean, the way she responds is awesome, and there's a lot of like surreal moments in this and surreal realities that I really can't explain until you've seen it. It basically is like a fever dream of every Halloween movie you've ever seen before in your life, with its own path as well. I mean, I absolutely love it. So make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and make sure you stick around all month long for more Halloween 3 Into the Unknown episodes. So this film gets right into it. Make sure you pay attention because this plot's got a lot of cool little intricacies. We get into it right away on Halloween night. 17-year-old Dora finding out from Dr. Henry that she's pregnant and a mother-to-be. She of course doesn't tell anyone, so her mother decides to take her younger brother Remy out trick-or-treating that evening to go and do whatever, while Dora waits at home for her boyfriend Jace to show up. Dora first gets a trick-or-treat visit from a guy who looks like he has a Baghead. Baghead proceeds to come back a second time with an individual named Buckethead, who touches Dora's stomach and proceeds to leave a bloody handprint on her, as apparently knowing she's pregnant. Dora freaks out and closes the door. Lastly, they show up again with a third trick-or-treater, this time dressed as Lion Mane trick-or-treater, and he has Dora's boyfriend's Jace's head inside of his sack. She runs inside and proceeds to call the police. It's actually pretty insane how quickly it escalates and how fast these trick-or-treaters become menacing. And one thing I will say is these trick-or-treaters look absolutely terrifying. The trick-or-treaters continue to supernaturally terrorize Dora both inside and outside of the house, and eventually she runs away and hides, and Dr. Henry shows up but gets viciously attacked before Dora can bring him inside and try and save him. Dr. Henry does find out in the meantime that for whatever reason, Dora's pregnancy is rapidly expanding and going at a rate that's undeniably fast. It's like supernaturally happening, almost to the point where 9 months is happening in one night. Dr. Henry is unfortunately killed by the children, and from here on out, it's pretty much just Dora trying to run around the house, inside and out, trying to save her life before the cop shows up. Yes, Robert Patrick shows up and decides to try and save her life while still suffering a similar fate. I can't really explain everything in detail because I don't want to spoil it, because the ending is definitely worth watching, but just be aware, the way they torment this girl and play around with her mind and psych you out is just so damn cool. You definitely need to watch it.
What? Trick or treat! I really don't give up, do you? Read my lips. There's no more candy.
Now, one thing I really appreciate about this film is its own thing. I mean, it is its own thing entirely. But the really cool part is, while being its own thing, occasionally it throws a nod back to some movies that it owes respect to that also take place on Halloween. For example, when the white sheets are blowing in the wind and the blankets and all that stuff, we all know what we were thinking. The original Michael Myers 1978 thing. But it was really fantastic to see them do that. But aside from those nods here and there, which are very sparse, it's its own movie entirely. I mean, it is something like I've never seen before.
Okay, whatever. Happy Halloween.
And what's really fascinating is they make it feel like it's got this like fever dream affair, and that makes you really have to stress the fact that if you have never seen this before, it's filmed in like this like lavender-esque type of filter over it, and sometimes it feels like it's going in like slow motion or it has like a echo effect, but they do that to help really induce this fever dream affair.
You're breaking up. Did you say there's a storm? Tell me what you see, Dora.
And I think even if it's not for you, you should still watch it just once to appreciate the effect that they're using it for, the idea of making you really question what's real and what's not, as this girl just seemingly becomes more and more pregnant. And that's one thing I really got to stress. The whole 17-year-old girl becoming pregnant thing, you really got to pay attention to the plot and not look away. And make sure you're really following to understand why a 17-year-old girl being pregnant and getting rapidly more pregnant by the hour seems to fit the narrative of this whole film. Because if you look away for just a little bit, you might miss something. And that's the problem with films like this. They're very bold and brave, but sometimes they can be a little boring. And
Dr. Henry?
and at times I felt like this was a little slow-paced moving, not the greatest of them all, but the thing that really makes up for it is these kids are absolutely terrifying looking. Like the trick-or-treaters, that's something that really made me put a smile on my face.
Want some goddamn candy? You like the candy, then have it.
Because I was like, that's a really unique prospect. The idea of a bunch of trick-or-treaters terrorizing a girl on Halloween could be a movie by itself, and to be quite honest, I'd like to see it approached from a different angle, but the way they did this was even more crazy because the whole underlying plot of the fact the girl is pregnant, and every time she shoos them away, more show up, and their whole mask and getup, and it just looks so very rugged and raw. I love it. It was really just such a well-done affair. But again, it's just one of those things that's hard to follow all the way through. You have to make sure you're really paying attention. And once you pay attention, the film is actually pretty interesting. But it's one of those films that's very artistic and very surreal and real, and has a lot of false realities where we think we know what's going on, and then the girl wakes up.
Mike? Mike? No. Mike?
Sherry?
There's not a whole lot of gore, but there's still kills in it, and the kills in it are pretty creative for what they are. But something about this almost feels like it might have been like a made-for-TV film, and I looked up its history. I don't think it ever was. I think it was just someone really trying something new and something that needs to be seen by everybody out there if they haven't seen it already, because I thought it was pretty unique and cool, to be quite honest with you. Just not a film for everybody. So, one thing I really had to sit and think about with this film is like the fact that less is more, but sometimes at the same token, more is less. And this isn't really a film for everybody, but at the same time, a film for everybody is really a film for nobody. I don't know if that applies here, but it was a film that definitely required me to sit there and go, okay, I really gotta pay attention to what's going on. It was overstimulating and underwhelming at the same time. At no point did I really feel bored. I just felt like the storyline did its best to try and keep things cohesive, because the director really used the best knowledge he had to make this whole surreal fever dream thing be a cohesive story that was told. At no point in time, if you actually pay attention, is this film that hard to follow. You just need to be able to stay attentive with it, because it's kind of like within a violent nature, sometimes bold and brave can be a little bit boring, and it's not that it's boring in the sense that you don't want to watch it. It's just hard to follow again. It makes you want to look away. And it's one of those things where I thought it was really well done. The kills are really great. Everything just seemed to be good, but it just needed more gore in my opinion. The gore lacking is really just kind of because this film is actually pretty fucking upright terrifying at times, even though it really doesn't have any jump scares. That's something that's really fascinating to think about. A film with no jump scares that's still pretty goddamn scary. Everything about the whole plot and everything else is just, it's pretty damn good. It's just something that you really gotta open up your mind to before you go and watch it. So I think you should definitely check it out. And if you have seen it, make sure you comment down below how you felt about the film, because I thought it was pretty crazy and surreal, but it's definitely not a film for everybody, so I want to hear all of your contrasting opinions down below. And that's my synopsis on the whole Hellions movie. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, and thank you for watching, and stick around all month long for more Halloween 3 Into the Unknown, where we review horror movies that take place on or around Halloween and the slightly lesser unknown options. Make sure you check me out every Thursday night, 9 p.m, twitch.tv/ILTV4K, streaming for the Total Terror Thon Thursday, and then Saturday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, twitch.tv/ILTV4K for the Spooktactular Saturday nights, doing a lot of horror gaming. And don't forget, one last thing. You're watching ILTV, where if it's pop culture, you know it pops up here. Sorry.
Ah!
Happy Halloween on behalf of ILL TV, where if it's pop culture, you know it pops up here.